Hi, everybody. Dan DeFedericis from Saratoga Report, and I am here with Alphonse Lambert, Coach Lambert from Saratoga Central Catholic School, Spa Catholic to many. And Coach Lambert is the both the athletic director there and the baseball coach, and he is a returnee to these interview processes. Coach, how are you doing on finally slightly cooler weather here in the Saratoga region?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Well, doing well. Finally, the heat broke, and it was good. I'm bartending currently at the Saratoga racetrack, and I'm also running one of two of my baseball camps. So this week, it's been a scorcher on the baseball field and at the track. So today, finally, the heat broke and was much better for the kids out on the field today for their camp. I was off today from the track, which is good. So tomorrow, I go back to the track and resume my duties behind the bar at the Gym Dandy, and we'll have low 80s and high 70s, and that's temperature sits well with me.
At the new Jim Dandy, right?
The new Gym Dandy, yes.
Yeah, yeah, they did a great job. Hey, us just briefly we're here to talk football, but I want to briefly talk baseball with you. Your varsity, Saratoga Central Catholic varsity baseball team had a stellar season. I know it wasn't quite, slightly short of perfect. And if you want to talk to that, kind of recap the season for us here.
Well, it's a group of kids that I've had for the last 5 years. These kids, most of these kids actually came through my baseball camp. A lot of these kids started with me since they were 8 years old through my baseball camp, and I actually started coaching them when they were 13-year-olds, and had them for the last 4 or 5 years. So we have been planning this run for the last, few years. This year, we had high expectations. We had a great regular season. We finished second in the Wasserman League. We won 17 straight during the regular season.
Remember that.
We finished the regular season at 18-2. We lost two tough games in our league to Mechanicville, but we had some signature wins along the way. We beat a very good Schuylerville team, a very good Broad Alban Perth team, and an outstanding end of the season 10-inning win against CBA. So we had a we really did. We had a great season. Got to the playoffs, won our first two games handily against Whitehall and Greenwich. And then we saw a common foe in Hoosick Falls, a team that we beat 21-1 and 7-5 during the regular season. But as baseball goes, it's tough to beat a team three times. I don't think we looked past them. I think Hoosick Falls played an outstanding game. I don't think we played horribly. We just failed at times executing certain situations, but we lost in 8 innings in the semifinals, and we finished our season at 22-3.
Okay, it was a great season from what I saw, and
Yeah.
I was so impressed. And the fact that you had them. Quick aside, how if someone has an up and coming student that would be coming of baseball age for a camp, how would they register for your camp next summer?
Well, we still have one more camp going, and it's
Okay.
August 5th through the 8th, and it goes from 8-1, or excuse me, 9-1 at the West Side Recreation Field. And the cost is $190. And you can get the registration form on our website at www.spasaints.com. Fill out the registration form, $190, throw it in the mail, and send it to me.
Is that correct? Spasaints.com. Do I have it correct on the screen?
spasaints.com.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Terrific. That $190. What quality education can you get for?
And we got an outstanding staff. I got my players. I got Coach Dale Long that's been with me for 25 years. His dad was a Major League Baseball player and still holds a Major League record for home runs in consecutive games with 8. So we got a lot of, and then we got Coach Skiff from Hadley Luzerne High School and my current players. So it's a very, very good staff.
I guess so. Hey, let's transition here to football. And Saratoga Central Catholic and Stillwater Schools release some news last week that just blew me away. I maybe other people have seen this before, but I haven't. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but Saratoga Central Catholic, a private Catholic school, and Stillwater, a public school, are going to have a joint or a merged
Merged football team.
varsity football team. Is that correct?
No, it's going to start out this year is going to be modified in JV,
Okay.
and then next year will be varsity, all three levels.
Okay. Explain that a little more. How
Well,
I've never seen such a thing like that happen.
Well, it's unusual, but it's really a great partnership,
It
and
looks it.
it's really thinking out of the box. And I got a call in probably January. My good buddy, who's a Stillwater coach, Stillwater athletic director, Mike Kinney, contacted me and he said, "Hey, listen, this was in passing." He said, "Hey, listen," he goes, "Are you guys interested in playing football?" And I said, "Mike, we are not interested in playing football at all." And I said, we're a little small school on 247 South Broadway, probably the size of a little house on the prairie. So we're not playing football. And that was it. And I didn't think anything of it. So now we play Stillwater's basketball team on that Saturday night at Hudson Valley Community College. And the assistant coach at halftime, Dave Cook, who's also the assistant football coach, comes to me at halftime. He says, "Hey, can I talk to you after the game?" And I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I go back to my seat and I'm like, "What does Dave Cook want to talk to me about? Did one of my kids say something to one of the Stillwater
Yeah,
players?
exactly. Yeah.
Am I going to have to do my job on a Saturday night? Come on." So I go back and sit down and the game's over and Stillwater coach comes over to me and he says, "Hey," he says, "did Mike Kinney call you on Friday?" I couldn't recall the phone call. And I said, "Well, I talk to Mike all the time. In regards to what?" He goes, "Football." I said, "Yeah, we're not playing football." What are you, crazy? And he said, "No, we want to merge football programs with you." And I looked at him. I'm like, "You want to merge your football team, who just went to the state championship, with my no football team? I don't have a football team. You want to merge with us?" He goes, "We want your kids. We know what kind of athletes you have on a baseball field and what kind of athletes you have on a basketball court. And we think this would be a great thing." So I get my car and I'm driving back from Hudson Valley Community College with my basketball coach, Shea Bermersky, who was a football player at Cambridge, great high school program. And I said, "Shea, this has blown me away." He goes, "Coach, you got to do it. You got to do it. This is unbelievable. Our kids are going to be tough now. We're going to have football players." So I looked at him and I'm like, "Oh my God." Immediately called my principal, Chris Signor. And I said, "Chris."
Our classmate, by the by, right?
What's that?
He's your classmate from Spa Catholic, by the by, right?
Since kindergarten.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Kindergarten to 12th grade. I've known Chris. I'm 58. I've known Chris for 54 years.
Wow.
So I said to Chris, I said, "Listen, this is how I always start when I make my presentation to Chris. Don't say no. Just listen." And he thought about it and had the same reaction I did. The wheels just started turning, the opportunities. So we had a meeting with the football coach at Stillwater, Ian Godfrey, and the athletic director, Mike Kinney. And we kind of thought it out. And they said, "Hey, listen, numbers are down all over the area in football. Everybody's merging." I mean, to be honest with you, Hudson Falls, who has the most storied football program, 100 years they've been playing football, Hudson Falls, they don't have a team this year. They don't have enough kids. Hoosick Falls, storied program. They don't have enough kids to stay alone. They have to merge with Tamarack. It's across the board. Mechanicville's merged with Hoosick Valley. And Stillwater, Greenwich, for all these years have stood alone. And they're small C schools. But they have a rich tradition in football. So the thought process from what Stillwater said was, "Look, you got athletes over there. You can help us. We can't fill our modified program. we don't have enough kids for JV. And if your kids can fill that, we can have all three levels and develop our program. And so we're sending over 14 kids.
Already, you have this figured out already.
We have 14 kids already. They've been training over at Stillwater. And what's interesting about this is Stillwater has a state-of-the-art facility. They got a beautiful turf field, state-of-the-art weight room for a high school. It looks like a college facility at Stillwater. And our kids, as far as distance-wise, you couldn't get perfect. I mean, they're just past Saratoga Lake. Our kids get on a bus. Our dismissal time is 2:16. Kids get on a bus. They head over to Stillwater for a 3:10 practice, which is manageable and easy to do. Bus driver drops them off. They get their lockers there. Our kids have already been weight training, have already been practicing. And what's good about this is the merger is only for JV and modified this year because we have kids that never played football. We have a couple kids that played we have a couple kids that transferred over that played at their previous school, but maybe one or two. For the most part, all these kids have never played football before.
Right.
So this is a great year learning season. The other thing I will tell you that I'm most impressed with, I've been doing this for 38 years. I know coaches. Nobody can identify a coach or a player. I would challenge anybody with that. I'm a very good evaluator of talent in coaches. I'm a coaching critic. That program is aces. That is an unbelievable football program. First of all, Ian Godfrey is not your stereotypical football coach. He's a teacher of the game. He handles himself well, dresses well, looks the part, articulates himself very well, breaks the skills down to the most elementary level for a kid that's just starting out. Their whole coaching staff is all on par with him. There's no, okay, this guy's going to do his thing and that guy's going to, no, they're all together. The offensive line coach is Joe Cacuzzo. And Joe Cacuzzo played in the Super Bowl for the San Diego Chargers.
1995.
Exactly. And he played at Michigan. And
he's their line
coach. And he's their line coach.
I did not know that.
Oh, yeah. He's the line coach. And his kid is one outstanding athlete. And I am so impressed by their coaching staff, just the way they talk to the kids. My kids are, and here's the other thing that I'm extremely impressed by. We had a meeting with the parents and their coaches, and they did the presentation to our parents to tell them, this is what we do here. And their kids brought our kids in, made them feel like they were a part of it. There was no division. There was not like the Spa Catholic kids are over here and they're kind of waiting to, they included them in everything. And now they have friendships.
They recognize they need each other, right?
I don't know if it's that. I just think they're really nice kids over there. Oh. I just do. And I think that our kids are really nice kids. And I think it is fostered by this coaching staff. They are outstanding. I can't say enough about it. We tried to bring this Holy Trinity team back. And I was one of the things that I was concerned about was that you're always starting at the bottom and you're trying to start over again. This is an established program. I mean, so for us, and then the travel going down to a Bishop Gibbons, just a little bit too far. Right. But for this, it's an easy drive. Now, Notre Dame Bishop Gibbons is also merged this year. They're in a three-way merger with Duanesburg and Burn Ox. Okay. So they're merged too, but ours is a two-team merger. And I think the way we're doing it, not jumping in the varsity right away, I think is the way to go.
It sure seems it. So it seems like you're going steady, but not all in at once, which might
Right,
be too much, too fast.
right.
This is really exciting news. As you know,
Yes.
I've got personal connections to Saratoga Central Catholic, as my daughters are at St. Clement's, and likely have a future there. And not that they're going to be playing football, but I just love. There's so much good news coming out of
Well,
Spock Catholic.
well, you never know.
Okay.
You never know. You never know that,
It's true.
if the girls cheer, right? Maybe we merge cheerleading programs in the fall. There's so many possibilities
Right, right.
with this opening up,
This is
and it makes us
what.
more viable school. Like, okay, now Saratoga Catholic has football. They do. We didn't know that.
Right,
We would have
right.
sent
Exactly,
we
exactly.
would have sent our kid there years ago, but they didn't have football. Now we
It,
have it.
yeah, it has a great following already. They're getting more and more students. This is just yet another reason. What will the team be called?
Well, they're branding. They're branding currently. They're trying to brand the thing now. Um, the modified level, they have like a maroon S connected to a gold C. It almost looks like South Colony, but
Okay,
they're just trying for this year.
sure,
Then they're going to get involved in brand it. I don't know what they're going to come up with, but I'm sure that it will be thought out and in respect to both schools. I you know personally, I don't know, and that would be something that I actually came up with the name Holy Trinity. Other people will take credit. I was the one that came up with that name.
okay. You
Uh,
heard it. You heard it here
yeah,
first.
I when we merged those three teams years ago, I said you got three teams called Holy Trinity. Oh, that's a great idea, but I came up with that.
Okay,
Um, but I don't know. I don't know what they'll come up with. I'm totally fine with. They asked me to coach. I have 30 years of football experience. I just I'm to that age where I just want to show up. I'm starting to hit a golf ball. Not good, but I'm starting to take up golf. I just want to go to the games and relax and watch the
sure.
games and look at it from a distance, give other people opportunities. I'm just grateful that our kids are having the opportunity to do this.
I'm thrilled with this. Congratulations to you, the entire Saratoga Central Catholic community, the Stillwater Schools community, because they apparently, as you said, didn't have enough kids, and now they presumably will. This is just all good
Well,
and
they had enough kids on
good
their
news.
varsity level, but not on their lower levels. They just wanted to make sure that they had the opportunities to guarantee their kids would have a modified JV system and that they could kind of
Sure,
move up um, with the proper age level. Not moving a kid up too
sure,
early. So they can stay at their level, which
sure. That makes sense. You
and
know,
I
an eighth
told
grader.
those guys, I said, we're going to do as much as good of a job as we can to be a really good partner in this merger. I'm going to encourage the kids to give it a try, and I'll leave you with this. I've always said this. I'm a baseball coach. I've won over 600 games. I've had a very successful career. I've coached basketball. I've coached it all. I coached football. One football win, one, is equivalent to 10 basketball wins and 10 baseball wins. I don't care what any coach tells you.
I could see that.
What goes on in winning a football game, the sweat, the hard work, the commitment, it's you can't understand it. It literally takes 11 guys out there to execute a play, and there's no sport like football.
That's for sure. I did play it at the high school level, not well, but I did play it, and yeah, I
Our
could.
most successful teams at Saratoga Catholic in baseball are 3-year champion, our 3-year sectional champion consecutive years, 3 years consecutive in 4 and 5 years. That's when we had football. Our kids got knocked down. They got up, they dusted themselves off, and now they come into the springtime, and guess what? Guy gives up a hit. You know what? You're just mentally tough because you got your brains beaten in during football, and you got up, and you learned how to be an athlete and be tough and be accountable and all those things. There's just so many great qualities that go into football at the high school level, and I'm thrilled for our athletes.
Terrific. Congratulations to you and both schools and mostly the kids, right? Mostly the kids.
Yep.
Thank you, Coach. We'll talk
Okay.
again.
Take care. Yeah.
Take care.
Bye-bye.